What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode where we're going to talk about a vulnerability in a voice over internet protocol open source library called Pjsip. You might remember the episode I did about how long it is taking for teams to fix severe bugs, on average over 6 months. The time to fix a bug in a product like Pjsip affects major brands including WhatsApp, Asterisk, and others. Now, the reasons given in the research in that previous episode had to do with shifting resources to tackle more severe bugs before, say, low, medium, and high severity bugs. But that does not completely explain the 193 days it still takes. In case you missed the episode on the bug fixing time metrics and want to watch it, the link is above. In this episode here, we are going to specifically talk about Pjsip and what this issue could mean for you, considering you most likely use a product that is built on their technology. Now, I hope you watch the whole episode, but if not, you can now skip directly to my insights at the end of the episode, right from the timeline below. For the rest of you, let's go through the story together and see what we can learn to protect ourselves and others.
Oh, drat these computers. They're so naughty and so complex. I could pinch them.
Researchers from JFrog's security research team discovered 5 vulnerabilities in the popular Pjsip open source multimedia communication library. Pjsip is a communication library written in C language, implementing standard-based protocols such as SIP, SDP, RTP, stun, turn, and ICE. It combines signaling protocol, or SIP, with rich multimedia framework and net traversal functionality into a high-level API that is portable and suitable for almost any type of system, ranging from desktops, embedded systems, to mobile handsets. Pjsip supports audio, video, presence, and instant messaging. The API supplied by the PJSUA library can be used by IP telephony applications, including VoIP devices. Many popular communication applications use the library, including WhatsApp, BlueJeans, and Asterisk. Congratulations, you're doing a great job by wanting to learn about the critical flaws discovered in the Pjsip multimedia library. I appreciate your support by watching my episode about it. If you are new to my channel and have not already, please consider subscribing to my channel and smashing the bell to be notified when I upload new episodes where I give you insights into the newest, important cybersecurity news stories like this one. With my insights, you can be better prepared to protect your company, your family, and of course, yourself against these and other cyber attacks. So, hit the subscribe button now and let's continue to learn about this story together. So, if you're an evil attacker, you can exploit the flaws to gain arbitrary code execution on devices running applications using the vulnerable library, or to trigger a denial of service condition. Buffers used in Pjsip typically have limited sizes, especially the ones located in the stack or supplied by the application. However, in several places, this is the developer talking, we do not check if our usage can exceed the sizes, wrote Pjsip's developer Sao Ming. This library allows you to write your application and it'll run on any flavor of Windows, Windows Mobile or CE, up to Windows Mobile 6, Mac OS X, both PPC and Intel, Linux on any processor types, many flavors of Unix systems, Nokia, Symbian 3rd and 5th edition devices, Apple iOS on iPhone, iPad and iPod, BlackBerry 10 and Android planned in version 2.2. Pjsip has also been used in embedded systems, with people reporting successful use on embedded OS, RTOS, such as UC Linux, QNX, and RTEMS, across different types of processors. Pjsip runs on a 20 MHz MIPS processor appliance. In the beginning, the development path of Pjsip was a bit haphazard. After version 0.2, before any new code was written, a Pjsip design document was written, and this is what then became the good old Pjsip developer's guidebook. The development took significant time. In fact, it took 8 months until basically February 2006 for a new version to be released, and that version was called 0.5.0. They skipped 0.3 and 0.4 altogether due to major features in the new version. After 0.5, new releases followed quickly, and there were 14 releases in the following 12 months, being version shy. All were numbered 0.5. So a year later, the version number only went as high as 0.5.10, During this period, Pjsip LLP was incorporated in November 2006, along with Perry Ismangel, a former classmate in college of Mr. Ming, joining the company. With Perry on board, things were getting more organized, but not really to the level you would want considering the entities using this library. Now, according to the developers, in the future, they want Pjsip to be available to even more platforms. They want more mobile-friendly and fine-tuned nature for it. They're not happy with the current high-level API, and they want it to be even higher level and easier to use and develop. They want the API to be accessible to even more languages. They're not happy with the documentation, and they need more features, more RFCs, and so on. Now, only time will tell if and how they will achieve all these lofty goals. So, what can we learn? Here again, we have what most likely started out as either a pet project of sorts, or maybe a small commissioned project from some company by, a couple of scrappy young developers with big plans. It solved an issue, or it made further development for many companies so that they could build on top of this library for their own products, including monster companies like WhatsApp, BlueJeans, Asterisk, or any of these major VoIP tech companies that use the library. As the story goes, of course, development was chaotic, was haphazard. They skipped version numbers. They used 10 micro version numbers to reflect massive amounts of development instead of using minor or major version numbers when they deployed major features. Now, a few days ago, in another episode, I posed the question. Actually, it was more like a questionable ranting statement. And it was, can you use projects like this in your code or your own project? Can a company like WhatsApp afford to use these types of libraries that can potentially crush their entire business? Taking a library like this off the shelf and slapping it into your project can work wonders for your delivery time to market, but it does open up some really serious risks. What if the developers all of a sudden decide to become activists against Russia, for example, like the developer of the NPM package node-ipc, and, they inject code to wipe devices of Russian and Belarusian users? I wonder if WhatsApp did due diligence on this library before slapping it into their codebase. I wonder if they did or do any security review of their third-party implemented libraries. Or how about this? Do you think that WhatsApp or any of these billion-dollar companies that rely on this library donated any significant amount of time or money to these developers to allow them to work full-time on this library, so they can hire feature quality assurance coders, or get security testers on board, or give them resources to improve pieces of code, integrate new features, and really professionalize the project like all of their, big plans are? Now, as I mentioned in another episode, with the link is above here, we discussed how open source organizations like the Linux Foundation are supporting open source projects so that the developer of these projects can invest more of their time into improving the security of these projects and the stability. This is yet another case that clearly shows not enough is being done. If you're using any open source library or framework, you should be donating at least your time to help them maybe test, debug, or report bugs. That is, if you cannot donate any money to their cause. Now, I can't count how many times a client calls and says something like, it just doesn't work, or they send an email, but provide no details. So if you do report a bug, then it is important that you provide as many details as possible, like your working environment, the system where the bug occurred, like operating system, Windows, Red Hat, Linux, the kernel version, along with the version of the product you're reporting a bug about. This helps the developer pinpoint what they need to test, or at least gives them some details to try and reproduce the issue in a similar environment to yours. Now, if we continue to only take, and we don't give back in any type of form, whether it's debugging, helping, developing, or giving some financial assistance to these open source projects, we will continue to suffer from our own greed and ignorance. With that, I say thanks again for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already, and smash the bell if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.